Hey loves, it's Britt, and in this video I'm talking about Saturn conjunct to the Ascendant in Synastry. So this is one of the most karmic aspects, I would say, to have in Synastry, where there's a lot of lessons being learned. The Saturn person can really see the Ascendant person as this real, authentic, kind of like free person that they would like to be in that area of their Saturn. You got to look at the sign that this conjunction is taking place in. The Saturn person can really see the Ascendant person as like this freely expressed, authentic version of themselves that they would like to be, but it's just too hard. And like that can bring up in the Saturn person insecurity, fears, while at the same time they feel a great devotion to the Ascendant person. They feel like they want to be there for them, they want to protect them, they want to look out for them. They see the Ascendant person as someone who is like worthy of their attention in a way, because they really do, they can really respect the Ascendant person. Now, the other way, the Ascendant person can see the Saturn person as like someone who possesses strong leadership, someone who is maybe older than they seem. Like, so this could even be like if the Saturn person is younger, the Ascendant person perceives the Saturn person as this older, kind of authoritative person. They can actually see the Saturn person as being quite bossy or dominating, even in some way. But they can also really see them as like a leader and like someone who, they aspire to be like. They really can have a lot of respect for the Saturn person, while at the same time feeling like they need to be on their best behavior with the Saturn person. So Saturn synastry can feel a bit parental. Saturn, of course, is like, the daddy planet in some ways, Sun and Saturn. Saturn is the more critical, not easygoing father figure in our chart, where the Ascendant person can really, yeah, feel like the Saturn person is like a fathering kind of energy toward them. Um, if there's other good synastry aspects going on, they can really feel like, yeah, like a loving father. So it can actually be, in a sense, when we have this type of contact, it can be very healing for the Ascendant person. It can make them, heal and resolve certain daddy issues they might have. And it also is doing the same for the Saturn person as well. The Saturn person, through this relationship, is kind of healing any of their own daddy issues that they might have by just being around the Ascendant person who just authentically expresses that energy without even a thought or without any doubt, because the Ascendant is just who we naturally are, and Saturn is something that is very sticky for us. It's very difficult. It's like we want to express it and we know we have to. It's our life's work, it's our life lesson, but oh my God, is it ever hard? And so that's why a big theme of this contact, this synastry aspect, is self expression. And the Ascendant person's self expression can be stabilized in a way. Like if they're impulsive, if they're, not acting right, the Saturn person can be like that Saturn figure, that dominant, like teaching force, and help them kind of ground their energy to be more effective. And the Ascendant person can actually wake up the Saturn person to more light, more freedom, freedom from fear, freedom of from Saturn is where we're all like crusty and tight. And so the Ascendant person, in a sense, is like clearing that out. It's kind of like a massage even to that uncomfortable, sticky Saturn energy. So there's a lot energetically going on here. I think that it could show in a past lifetime there has been a parent child relationship or something of significance. Something, it could have even been a business connection. There's definitely Saturn energy can kind of represent the 10th house and sort of like a career calling. There could have been some sort of past life working together in some way, or it could have been parental, or it could have been um, a bond that lifetime after lifetime we cannot sever because it's just like we care about each other too much. We're helping each other grow. So it can definitely feel like that. It can feel like they're just always going to be in your life. You can't let them go. There can be a lot of mutual respect, also judgment, specifically from the Saturn person. They can judge the ascendant person as being, kind of impulsive or even childish. And then the ascendant person can kind of judge the Saturn person as well for being, just too stuck in their ways and fearful and nervous. And, they need to just lighten up a bit and relax, but they can't. But maybe with some coaxing they can eventually. But yeah, this one can show there's a lot of mutual care for each other, but it's hard for them to show it. That's the thing with Saturn synastry. Strong Saturn aspects in synastry is that you might care for each other so much, but for whatever reason, when you get together, you're nervous or you're uncomfortable, you're fearful, you're scared to say that you love them. You're scared to say how much they mean to you. And definitely with this contact, there is a real like reserve. I feel like is one of the main feelings of Saturn conjunct the ascendant in synastry is like you could have a bunch of other stuff going on that shows more openness, and you have Saturn conjunct ascendant and there's this real reserve, there's this real caution in dealing with each other. You care about each other a lot, you feel that it's significant, it feels fated, it feels like some past life thing is going on, but for whatever reason when you get together there's this nervousness or fear or a block in expressing yourself. And the ascendant person can really feel it where they're just like wanting to be on their best behavior and they can kind of like close down in a way. And then the Saturn person can really feel like all their fears, all their triggers are being brought up by this ascendant person just by the way that they act. And in one way they can even feel like a bit like old or even a bit embarrassed, like of how triggered they can be by the ascendant person. And they can, think, well, why do I feel like this? Like, why am I so weak to them? Why do I feel so nervous around them? Why do I feel like this person just brings up all of my stuff as shown by the Saturn house placement and sign placement, right? It can be like a constant reminder of all that we still have to do and all that we're so hard on ourselves for. So yeah, it's definitely not a lighthearted contact. It's not an easy contact. It's not it can be not fun. It can definitely be not fun. However, it is common in long-term relationships because of the sticky element of Saturn. How hard it is to break that Saturn bond because we're learning from each other. We're gaining a lot out of this, even if it doesn't feel like it. There is growth happening. This is one of the top like growth aspects that you could really have for your self expression. For the ascendant person, they're really learning how to be more effective, how to be more reliable, responsible, grounded in that ascendant energy. And the ascendant is a big part of our soul's purpose and why we've chose to incarnate. It's like the first breath, right? It's like our essence, our being, our natural being. And having someone Saturn conjunct your ascendant is like awakening to all that you could be if you could just ground the energy and be, more responsible, more committed to it. So it is very helpful and hard on the ascendant person. And then the Saturn person is like all to do with awakening their Saturn, and kind of like it's all about healing for them. It's really about kind of like massaging those rough edges, those hard edges, and like allowing them to release fear, release bondage, release karma, and really become better as well. So this is going to be more significant if there's a bit of an age gap. It could even just be like a little bit of an age gap where Saturn is in, a different sign. If you have your natal Saturn conjunct your ascendant and then you have this aspect in Synastry, it's not going to be as personal to that relationship because you're going to have it with everybody in your um, age range, kind of. So yeah, it's more significant when we're dealing with a bit of an age gap, and then we can really feel it strongly because it's like, whoa, having someone's Saturn conjunct your ascendant is like being hit with a ton of bricks. Like, you definitely feel it. You definitely feel the reserve. You feel the caution. You feel this like, whoa, I better wake up and be diligent and do this right. And yeah, so you definitely feel this one, and it's a really interesting contact to have. It can be romantic as well because we automatically have Saturn conjunct the ascendant, we have Saturn opposing the descendant. So there is this real like desire to commit and to merge with this person, as hard as it is. So you would hope that there's more lighthearted things going on. However, it doesn't really take away from this. It can just kind of lighten this up a bit because this is a particularly heavy felt contact. And yeah, it can be hard. It can be like, can't live with it, can't live without it, but there's a lot of growth involved. So I'd love to know your experience of this synastry aspect. If you've had it, what is it like? How have you liked it? Do you like it? Do you hate it? I would love to know. And thank you so much for watching, you guys. Keep those requests coming, and we'll talk soon. Okay, bye.